And if you have any questions during the sessions, you can type down your question on the chat box or simply click the raise hand button and the presenter will address your questions during the Q&A session at the last part of his presentation. And before we kickstart to our presentation formal, let me share with you what we will going to cover for today's webinar. And if you are wondering how to stream your industrial data anywhere, how to access your data without exposing your network, and how to keep mission critical systems secure while participating fully in Industry 4.0, and how to stream real-time data from my existing Aviva SCADA system. And all of these questions will be tackled along with this presentation. And without further ado, I shall hand you over to our presenter for today. Over to you now, Nielsen.
Thank you, Janice. So, good morning. For the topic for this webinar session that we will tackle is the Industry Insight webinar, where we will introduce you one of the product of Skynet and one of our solution, the Servodynamics Philippines, that is popular into the market. So I am Nielsen Lee Laceda, a technical support engineer from Servodynamics Philippines. So for our agenda for today, here are the lists. So who we are, what is the product intro for the DataHub tunneler, OPC Gateway, and the application for the data connectivity with Edge and data connectivity with Aviva Historian and Aviva Insight. So first, I'll just give you some background of Servodynamics Philippines. So who we are. So Servodynamics Philippines is a local registered company fully owned by a subsidiary of ISDN Holdings. So we have 900 plus employee all in our organization, 65 sales office across the Asia and 49 sales office in China. And we have more than 10,000 customers based in Asia. So in the Philippines, we are the local distributor of the Wonderware, Aviva, which provide industrial software for your client. So what we provide? So what does Servodynamics Philippines provide? So we provide a technology hub that provide solution for the digital transformation. So by using all of the subsidiaries of the ISDN Holdings, we are creating a solution for digital transformation. So about Skynet. So Skynet is a company that that uses the Cogent DataHub. This is the one that we will tackle later in this part. So Skynet is a global leader in real-time middleware products and services that allows company to secure their data even if some of the data is being used by their client. So as a certified technology partner, Skynet offers Aviva user secured and real-time integration of the production data with Industrial 4.0 IoT. So as you can see, this is the user interface for the Cogent DataHub. Later, we will discuss this part. So Cogent DataHub. So DataHub is a single tool that lets you connect, concentrate, integrate, and redistribute your live data among sources and users in real time. So this is one of the solution that we will provide you and one of the product that Skynet is offering. So DataHub provides the following. The first one, real-time middleware. So it can establish a secure bidirectional data communication for your industrial system. Next is integrate your data. So it can pull data from all of the sources and protocols. So into a single unified data set. Any client can access data using the following protocol: the OPC UA, the OPC Classic here, the MQTT, Modbus, DDE, TCP, and many more. So in this part, DataHub is a two-way communication where you can pull and push data to any of the third-party application. So, and lastly, connect your system. So by using a network server to connect to their client, by integrating OPC UA and OPC DA, by connecting to the MQTT broker, including Azure, Google, and Amazon IoT. So you can also visualize and control your data. We can log your data to the SQL, bridge between server, configure the redundancy, and modify and securely connect your data, and many more. So in this part, as you can see, this is the Cogent Data Hub, right? So all of these are database. So in this two-way communication, the historian database can push their data into the Cogent Data Hub. And also, they can, the historian database can get data from the Cogent Data Hub. So it is a push and pull data for this part. Also, if you push the data, the historian database, push the data to the Cogent Data Hub, the MQTT or the Skyhub or any of these databases can get that data inside the Cogent Data Hub. Next is the access your data without exposing your network. So for the traditional client-server architecture, this part, this is a typical plan setup. For the PLC, going to the OPC server, going to the OPC client. This part. So this is the traditional. But for the common scenario in this part, where we have multiple sites, and each site, there is a firewall, right? So which prevent data to pass normally from main server. The main server is the plant network to the other site. The other site is the IT network. So it will prevent, the firewall will prevent the data to pass normally between the main server to the different site. So, and most of the time, one of the common solution you may think of, right, is to use VPN. Yes, VPN. So one of the common issue, problem if we use VPN is the security, because VPN won't actually solve the security problem. So a VPN effectively extend the security perimeter in this part beyond the plant network to include the IT network. So in this part, this expands the attack surface to the network. Worse yet, a security breach to the attack. Instead of just sharing the data, a VPN shares the whole network, meaning it can attack the whole network in this part. So another solution that you may think of is, why not reverse the connection, right? So from PLC to OPC server. So we will still be having a problem in this part with the firewall, because to bypass the firewall, we need to outbound connection, right? And in order to do that, the OPC server in this part should be the one to initiate, not the OPC client. But from our architecture, the OPC client is always the one to initiate. So it cannot be done for the reverse connection. So in order for you to resolve this kind of situation, we may have in our plant, there is another kind of solution that we can do using Cogent DataHub. This is the Cogent DataHub. So first is a different kind of outbound connection. So from our plant network here, we may include one DataHub. From the other side, or other site, different site, the IT network, we can put another DataHub. So the Cogent DataHub is flexible when making a connection. So when one DataHub connects to the other DataHub, either of one of them can initiate. Not in this part, right? The OPC client is only the one that can initiate. But in this part, any of the Cogent DataHub can initiate the connection. Because a trusted data source can initiate the connection, making the connection from plant network to the IT network secured, even if there is a firewall. Another solution is the secure middleware, this part. So in this part of the solution, we may install another Cogent DataHub in the middle, so that the plant and IT network make only outbound connection. So the Cogent DataHub in this part will push their data to the middleware. The IT network in this part will push data to the middleware. And with all the firewall here closed, so both plant and IT network, so the potential attack surface for this system has now moved to the middleware, right? In this part. So reducing the complexity of the security problem, because the DMC in this part of the computer manage the security risk of the middleware. So it manages the security of the Cogent DataHub middleware. So it is all also secured in this part. So for our agenda for today, we will be discussing two of the main features of Cogent DataHub. The first one is the DataHub tunneler, that's part, and the second one is the OPC Gateway. So Cogent DataHub features are tunneling, OPC Gateway, IoT Gateway, visualization, logging, historians, bridging, redundancy, scripting, and more. So in this part, because of lack of time, we will only be discussing two of the main features that is popular in the market, which is the tunneler and the OPC gateway. So for the first product, DataHub, DA and UA tunneler. So tunneler provides easy to configure and secured and robust network for data protocols that are difficult to connect or that rely on insecure architecture. So the Cogent DataHub tunneler go beyond the basic, letting you integrate your data without exposing your network. So DataHub DA tunneler, the first one. So some of you are using DCOM, right? In order for you to communicate directly over a network. But for DataHub, it eliminates the hassle of using the DCOM, and you can collect OPC data from multiple network location without exposing your network. So for the DataHub UA tunneler, it is the same as the DA tunneler. The only difference is that you use your data as an OPC UA, whichever you need, because other third-party application need to use OPC UA, other need to use OPC DA, right? So it is based on what you will use, if it's DataHub DA or if it's DataHub UA tunneler. So it is user preference in this part. So the key features at a glance of the DataHub tunneler is that the first one is the robust OPC network. with no DCOM. So without the hassle of configuring the DCOM, you can connect the OPC UA or OPC DA data server with their client or vice versa. The next one is never blocks OPC or drops the OPC connection. So when the target network goes down with any reason, the DataHub middleware maintains the connection of the server to the client. And when the network is restored, right, the most recent data of the down server will automatically synchronize again to continue the data connection. And lastly, the quick reconnects after network failure. So with the DataHub middleware, it detects network failure, right? It detects fast, which avoid the false timeout and blocking when it reconnects, not like other tunneling software, which have lengthy delays, false report, or network failure that will add up to the slow reconnection, right? So when we compare DataHub with other tunneling products, in this case, you can see the figure. This is the DataHub, this is the other tunneling products. So for the other tunneling product, it exposed OPC transaction to the network irregularities, making client programs subject to timeout. Others delay, right? Others blocking behavior. Unlike DataHub, in this part, it keeps OPC transaction secured, thus fully protecting the client from the attacks. Okay. So for the second product, it is the OPC Gateway. So for the OPC Gateway, it converts real-time data of the OPC UA to OPC DA or vice versa. Using the gateway in this part, you can connect any OPC DA server or any OPC UA server to any of the client, locally or over the network. So what is the difference of the OPC Gateway and the first product, the DataHub Tunneler? The DataHub Tunneler is only like a bridge. So it's like the data is bridged to one computer to the other. While the OPC Gateway, it converts your data. If your data is OPC DA, it can convert the data to OPC UA. But if your data is OPC UA, it will convert to the OPC DA. Because it's a user preference if they want to use the OPC UA or they want to use the OPC DA. So that's the difference of gateway and tunneler. So for the key features, you can see in this part. So automatic discovery. So where you will not select data manually to be read in the server. So it will automatically browse the whole data for you. This part for the Cogent DataHub. Next is maintain UA data model. So the data model representation is the same when you convert. Even when you convert the OPCDA to OPCUA or OPCUA to OPCDA, it maintains the UA data model in this part. Next is the low latency. So it eliminates the cache latency to have the most current value of the data. That's part. So it is updated. And lastly, the interactive scripting, where you can manipulate your data in real time using a programming language. Next is integrate all your data into the single unified set. So any data source or protocol data is combined in a single unified data set for data organization. So also any data here, any data inside your Cogent DataHub can be accessed by the client using the OPC UA, Modbus TCP, and QTP, and more. Any of the protocols. So on the upper right picture, as you can see, this is the interface, user interface of Cogent DataHub. So you can configure here all of the features. Some are the following. So tunnel and mirror. So it secures networking of OPC data without using the beacon in this part. Data bridging, connect two or more data source to share data in real time. OPC AE, this is the alarms and events. So it connects the OPC A and E server and clients. The OPC AC, alarms and condition. So it connects OPC UA and AE server and client. And lastly, the MQTT broker. It connects to the MQTT client in this part. So basically, this is a demo on how to configure your OPC gateway. So that the other third-party application can use your data, OPC data or OPC UA data inside the Cogent DataHub. So as you can see in this part, we have simulated data with the tag names from, right, random, sign, and user. So this simulated data can be used by other third-party application using the Cogent DataHub. So as you can see in this part here, as you can see in this part, or all of the tags are in good quality and the value is updating continuously, right? So going back to the interface of the Cogent DataHub in this part, you should identify what OPC data you are using in this part. So if you are using UA or if you are using DA. So if you are using any of the OPC data, you should click any of this part. OPC UA, OPC DA. Then add a connection in this part. So you can configure all of the tags you want inside in this part. Configuring the OPC server inside the Cogent DataHub. After you configure here, you will select the tags, or it can manually selected or it can automatically selected. It is based on your preference because any in this part here, you can see manually select items or clicking here or load all items on the server. Meaning, if load all server, all of the tabs you want to load will be inside the OPC server that you created. So after you push the data inside the Cogent DataHub, where will you find the data? So this is the View Data tab here. You click the View Data tab, then you will find the data, the one that you push inside the Cogent DataHub. So as you can see in here, selecting, all of the tag names are inside the Cogent DataHub. The RAM, the random, and the sign, the user, and all of the quality is good, and the value is updating continuously. So what are the key highlights for this part? So it integrates your OPC DA data and serves the data to the other third-party application. So these are some of the case study we have for OPC Gateway and Tunneler. So we are a Skynet distributor in the Southeast Asian Servo Dynamics. So all of these are a company request. So for this data, for the case number 1, these are the customer requirements that we have. And this is a Taiwanese company which specializes in electronic materials provider. So first, they want to connect this part. They want to connect OPC UA and DA data from server to client. Next, they also need to exchange data in real time between their current system to any MQTT client. So for the integration part, they want to connect to a network and avoid DCOM. Earlier, we discussed the DCOM, right? So it eliminates the DCOM. So if you use Cogent DataHub, so avoid the DCOM configuration and do simple data conversion. Next, they want to use their data to view it in the web and the ability to write data to any ODBC system. And lastly, they want to store their data they collected to the SQL server, MySQL, and other databases. So the solution that we provided for this particular customer is 1 unit of DataHub, OPC Gateway, to integrate their data, converting the OPC DA to OPC UA. Second, we provide DataHub DA logger and DataHub UA logger in order for them to have the ability to log data inside the MS SQL. And lastly, we provide them 1 unit of MQTT broker since they have data coming from the MQTT client. So for the case number 2, this is a Taiwanese company specialized in electronic measurement product provider. So the customer wants to connect to the OPC UA and DA server with the client, connect to the PLC or Modbus TCP. So they want to integrate their data to a network without also using the DCOM configuration and do simple data conversion. And they want to use their data to view in the web. And lastly, they want to store their historical data to be accessed by QuickTrend or WebViewTrend. So the solution that we provided is 1 unit of DataHub Modbus UA server and 1 unit of DataHub Modbus DA server. Since they want to collect the data from a Modbus here, from a Modbus server, right? So this is the solution that we've provided. So for the case number 3, here it is a Vietnamese company which specialize in automation service provider. So the customer wants to connect to the Azure, Google, Amazon, or any standard MQTT broker to exchange data from their system to any MQTT client. So for the integration, there is no integration requirement, but they want to use their data that they've collected to the cloud to be deployed in a web HMI application. And lastly, store. They want to store their data to the SQL, Oracle, Access, and many more. The solution that we provided in this part is 1 unit of DataHub IoT gateway, this part, for the MQTT, and 1 unit of DataHub DA toddler for data transmission from one cogent to another. So for the case number 4, this is a Thailand company which specialize in internet service provider. So the customer wants to connect OPC UA from server to client, and they want to connect to the Azure, to the Amazon, or in MQTT broker. So for the integration part, there is no requirement, but they want to use their data from OPCDA going through the MQTT to be viewed on the cloud server. So the solution that we've provided in this part is we provide 1 unit of OPC gateway. for the OPC UA conversion, and 1 unit of MQTT client to connect to the MQTT broker. But if you want to connect simultaneously to any of the Google, Azure at the same time, you need to purchase one more for your solution. But in this part, they only want to connect one in simultaneous mode. So for the case number 5, this is an actual customer that implements the Cogent DataHub. So an actual implementation in their manufacturing plant. So this is a Philippine company, system integrator company, which specialize in power plant solution. So the customer pain points, as you can see in this part, the number 1, they cannot get data from their application and push through the historian. Next is existing control system has no OPC UA, which our OBS software needs to collect data. So they want to connect and convert OPC DA to OPC UA because of this, the customer pain points, right? Because they need OPC UA. So they want to convert OPC DA to OPC UA, and they want to integrate their data from DCS to their OBS software. Next is they want to use your data on an OBS historian to visualize their data. And lastly, they want to store their data to the OBS data historian. So we provided them here 1 unit of OPC Gateway to convert the OPC DA to UA. And as you can see here, this is their architecture, system architecture. From the system, going to the Cogent DataHub, going through the OBS data historian. So as a result, after using this part, as a result, from their plan, they can convert now data from OPC DA to OPC UA. And also, the communication from their existing OBS historian is successfully integrated and implemented. Then the OPC UA can push through the data to the OBS historian. And last case study that we have in this part is the Singapore company, a cyber security service provider in this part. This is also an actual implementation in their manufacturing plant. So the first one is for the customer pain points is the OPC server is running on an older version and they cannot upgrade for the DCOM settings. Earlier, we have discussed the DCOM settings, right? So the DCOM settings is the one that communicate from one network to another. So it communicates from one software to another, but they cannot upgrade. So we eliminate the DCOM configuration in this part. Then we use Cogent DataHub. And next customer pain points is that memory leaks issue and high memory consumption. So in this part, they want to push their data to a network and bypass the DCOM configuration settings. They want to integrate old OPC core to a new system. They want to minimize the memory usage to avoid memory leaks. And the solution that we provided is 3 units of DataHub DA tunneler. This part. So 1 unit for the OPC server, 1 unit for the middleware, and 1 unit for the OPC client, in order for them to push their data without using the DCOM settings. And as a result, you can see in this part, Cogent DataHub eliminates the use of DCOM settings. They can push through their data securely and avoid memory leaks issue, making the data transmission run smoothly. So for the next topic, we will be showing you a demo application integrating two Aviva products with Cogent DataHub. So the first one is the connectivity with Edge, and the last one is the connectivity with Aviva Historian and Insight. So for the Aviva part, some of the customer is an existing customer, right? Some of the customer here. So now I want you to introduce you to another platform that we are offering, which is Aviva. And Skynet is a certified technology partner of Aviva to secure the real-time integration of the production data with IT and Industrial 4.0 and Industrial IoT. So if you are an existing Aviva user, we can integrate your data from SCADA system, or we can integrate your Cogent DataHub data to Aviva Historian and Aviva Insight. And being a certified technology partner of the Aviva, it provides the following benefits to the existing Aviva customer. So the first one is it adds value to the system platform by securely connecting data to the system platform from OPC UA, Modbus, and more. Next, it provides digital transformation in a secure, reliable connection to any cloud system, which are Azure, IoT, Google IoT, and more. Next, it has no open firewall premises, making only outbound connections so that there will be no exposed attack surface for your data. And lastly, it has a one-way and two-way data communication. So for the first one, this is data connectivity with Aviva Edge. So as you can see in this part, using the Aviva software, this is an Aviva Edge software. You can integrate your data to Cogent DataHub. So in this part, we have a project that we created using the Aviva software with different screen to navigate. And as you can see, there is the alarms, this part, and trends. So basically integrating your data with Cogent DataHub needs an OPC, right? So we need to create first the OPC inside our Aviva Edge in order for it to be integrated inside the Cogent DataHub. So as you can see in this part, we've created the OPC for the Aviva Edge. So in order for us to integrate it inside the Cogent DataHub. Then placing all the tags you want to appear in the Cogent DataHub. Then after integrating this part, you go through the Cogent user interface. Then integrate the same data inside the Cogent data, creating the same OPC we use in the Aviva Edge. So how would you know if the data is inside the Cogent DataHub? So the one I've discussed earlier, right? Click the view data this part. So you would know the application tags or the data is inside the Cogent DataHub. So now you will ask me, right? What will we do to that data we integrate inside the Cogent DataHub? So there are three things. The first one, you can use it in any of the third-party application. The second one is you can use it for notification. The third one is you can use it for alert using email or SMS. So we have a demo here using the alert in this part, email and SMS, right? So configuring the email settings in this part that the notification will provide when it is sent inside your email. Configuring all of this. After configuring also the email settings in this part. Then after you configure all of this, applying it So when the tags is triggered, it will send you a high alarm message in this part, and it will send you a notice that a certain tag exceeded here, high alarm notice, and the value of the tag, level 869. So it will send you a notice on an alert in your email when the tags is triggered or exceed the limit that you have put in your tags. So what are the key highlights for this part? So it integrates your SCADA data to Cogent application. Next is create a condition for the alarm notification via email. The next one is for the demo for the data connectivity with Aviva Historian. So in this part, if you want to create a trend for your data that you've collected, so this is the demo that we have used. This is a simulated data coming from the Cogent DataHub. So for this part, if you want to connect to the Aviva Historian, you should configure it inside the external historian in this part. Configuring all of this inside the Aviva Historian here, configuring it and selecting the available points in this part. The available points is the available tags in your Cogent Data Hub. So these tags can be seen in the view data of the Cogent Data Hub, the one that I explained earlier. So all of the tags that is seen in this part is in the view data. Then that view data or that tag, we will push it through the Aviva Historian. So in this part, after you configure it, going through the Aviva Historian client or the trend type, selecting the server, local host, because we are using the local host. And as you can see in this part, the data feed, PID1, the data feed, PID MV, this is the simulated data that we've used for the Cogent Data Hub. And clicking it in this part, when you click, all of the tag is added inside the trend. And as you can see, this is the simulated data that we have in Cogent Data Hub. And that simulated data can be used to create some trends for your project. So if it's a requirement for your project, you can use this trend for this part, for the Aviva Historian. So what are the key highlights in this part? So the key highlights of this part is integrating Cogent Data Hub to Aviva Historian. Next is presenting your data into trends. So creating a trends for your project. And for the last demo in this part is the data connectivity with Aviva Insight. So for this demo, this is the one that you want to see your data in, or you want to view your data in a web browser, Aviva Insight. So, and also you want to create data to have a dashboard on it, right? So it's like the Aviva Historian. We need to configure it inside the external historian here. Configuring it inside the historian will portal you to the Aviva Insight publisher. So where you will need to fill up some of the information for your Aviva Insight membership. So you need to first purchase Aviva Insight in order for you to have the connection for the Cogent to Aviva Insight. Because if you don't have any membership in this part, you can only push through a demo. I think it's 36 or 1 month subscription only for the demo. in this part. So if you want to publish any of your data inside the Aviva Insight Publisher, you need to have an account for the Aviva Insight in this part. So after selecting or after configuring all of this part for the Insight Publisher, you also need to select any available points inside your Cogent Data Hub. It's like the Aviva Historian. So selecting the tags inside this part will push through the data or publish the data inside the Aviva Insight. This part. So as for this part, we will be using the here. You can see it has a good value in the Cogent Data Hub. And going through the Aviva Insight in this part, we can search the tag name that we published earlier in the search button here. Search button. This is the home page of the Aviva Insight. So when you search the tags, the rank in this part, you can see the available data in this part. The one that we publish is the RAM, the random, this part, random data, and the signed data. Signed data. So as you can see, it is updating continuously in this part, and it has a trend. This is the value for the tags. So going back through, if you want to create dashboard from this data that we publish inside the Aviva Insight, you can create dashboard inside Aviva Insight. So selecting here the points, then you can create the ramps and random in this part. In this dashboard, you can resize the dashboard, you can add the content, you can edit it, you can change the position, you can resize it. It's up to you. And you can also delete some of the contents in this part. You can add the content in this part, and you can resize any for us to view it perfectly or inside the web browser. So this is a dashboard for the Aviva Insight. Add the content, delete the content, move the dashboard to any places you want. It's user preference, then resize your data in this part. So the key highlights is first is integrating Cogent Data Hub to Aviva Insight. Next is transforming your data to a useful dashboard. So what are the benefits of using Aviva Historian in this part and Aviva Insight? So for the Aviva Historian, it will provide you a single source of truth. So it records all of your data will be consolidated to your Aviva Historian. So we can record our data, we can measure its efficiency. In the trending, we can link the data to the ERP solution. Next is we also provide as the process of optimization. So improving the control and operation, the product quality continuously update, and you can compare the past and present data operation because in the trend there is a past and present data, right? So you can compare all of your data inside the Aviva Historian. Next is the Aviva Insight. So you can see in the Aviva Insight we will have a troubleshooting and predictive analytics, right? Where we can improve the efficiency of the plant, we can enhance the detection downtime, and provide us analytical tools to analyze the root cause of the problem. So, and also we can create dashboard in the web browser, right? This one. So for the key takes away, I will hand over to you, to Ms. Regine, our sales manager, to discuss the key takes away for our webinar.
Okay. Thank you, Nielsen, for that interesting presentation. So for now, participants, our QA is now open. If you have a question, you can unmute yourselves or you can type down all your questions into the chat box. So for now, if you have no question for now, we will proceed to our key takeaways for today. But if you have questions later on, you may also type down all your questions into the chat box. So for our takeaways,
I have a question. I am Vivi.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I remember this is maybe slide, okay, roughly 1 second. I think when you talk about this data stream,
Hmm.
I think it's slide number 8 or 9 something. You told me there is no block or a drop of this OPC connection, correct?
Right.
I mean, then you said if there is any drop, then a quick reconnects after network failure is possible.
Can you type in the chat box? I
Hmm.
cannot
This is
hear.
regarding this DataHub DA/UA tunnel.
Yes, DataHub.
Yeah, in
Can you?
that,
Yes.
when you talk about the key features,
Yes. Key features.
you said the second point is the OPC connection won't be never block or drop, correct?
Yes, right.
Yeah. In the third feature, you said quick reconnects after network failures, correct?
Yes, right. Correct.
Yeah. In the second point, what I understand when you talk about this OPC connection means it is network connection. Am I right?
Yes, right.
Then how come you say the network failure is possible also in the third point? That's what I bit confused.
How come? Can you repeat again the question? How come?
Okay.
Or
So
can you type it in the chat box in order for me to?
I've since I believe it is a bit lengthy, that's why I talk here. If you want, you
Yes.
can record. You can send me the answer later. I'm okay with that.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
And
Hello,
one more.
Bobby. Hello. Hi, Bobby.
Sorry.
This is Stefan.
Hey,
Stefan from
hey,
support.
Stefan.
Hey, hi.
Oh, okay.
Probably you can drop me an email for what the question you have, and we'll actually get back to you once we have an answer for
Sure.
that.
Okay, sure.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and one more thing, just to clarify, either you people going to share the recording with the attendees?
Yes, we will be sharing the recordings for
Oh, that's
after this.
great.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thanks.
Okay. Any other questions from our participants? So there's one. Sir Noel, you can unmute yourself.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, good morning, Ken.
Yeah, we are actually use this Congen Data Hub in one of our trial. We're doing a trial for our client. So what we have set up is we have set up the server. We have set up the Congen in the server and as well as the client side. So our problem here is that we have set up according to the manual on the server side, which is talking to classic OPC DA server. So and then we on the client side we have set up the tunnel, which is which we are able to view data from the client side using the Congen. Sorry, hang on. Hello, Nelson.
Hello. Yes.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, Ken.
Sorry, I just switch the computer for a while. Just hang on for a while, yeah. Hello?
No, yes, I can hear.
Yeah, okay. So the problem now we are having is that we are using the SCADA software and then trying to get the data from the from this through the tunnel.
Through the tunnel. Not, it's not integrating your data from SCADA to the cogent. It's cogent to the SCADA, right?
Yeah, yes, correct, in the SCADA.
Mm.
So we are just seeking your advice that probably there's some setting and configuration that we might have missed or something.
I think we have the video for this part, and I'll send you the video. Integrating it inside the SCADA system for this.
Okay. Yeah, that would be a big help because we have been trying to do it.
But what SCADA is you are using?
We are using a VT SCADA.
Aviva InTouch, Aviva Edge, what's that? Aviva System Platform, what type of SCADA?
InTouch. Sorry.
InTouch.
Yeah.
Okay, I get back to you after this part because our video is based on the Aviva Edge.
Aviva Edge.
Hmm.
I will assume it will work similarly.
Because integrating Aviva Edge to Cogent DataHub can, but we haven't tried integrating it inside the Aviva InTouch.
Oh, okay. All right.
If you are using Aviva Edge, we can help you. But
I see.
for this part, for the Aviva InTouch, I'll get back to you and ask others.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
But can you also give an email for this part in order for us to?
Sure, no problem.
Hi, Noel. Hi.
Yeah.
Hey, Stefan for Servo. I will take down your question and probably drop your email after this call.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, Stephen.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, yeah, I think that's all for this one from our side. Thank you.
Okay. Is there any more question from our participants? If not, we'll proceed for our key takeaways for today. So for most IoT services, the cloud is an endpoint. With SkyHub, the cloud becomes a way to stream your data from wherever you have it or wherever you need it. So also, I just want to add on for those who have a questions earlier, rest assured that we will get back to you through email. And to proceed, first key takeaways for today is data throughput, not just data collection. For this one, you can connect OT to IT, do M2M, or link remote locations, all streaming in real time, or just microseconds over network latencies. The second one is one-way or two-way. For this one, you can stream data from your devices or plans for monitoring or stream commands, updates, and configurations back to your system. The third one is to access your data, not your networks. The DataHub Gateway and ETK enabled endpoints and use the DHCP protocol to ensure a data-only connection. No VPNs that your OT and IT networks remain untouched. The fourth one is no open firewalls on premise. So outbound connections via DHCP keep all inbound firewall ports closed. So this one, there are no exposed attack surfaces at your facilities, devices, or offices. The fifth one is the large data sets. So in a nutshell, you can get the full picture by streaming. You can get the full picture by streaming 100,000 data points in real time. The sixth one is flexibility. Flexibility is to manipulate data, run calculations, and do conversions in real time. The seventh one is easy to configure. So this one, you can be up, sit down in your office, and run it out in as little as 5 to 10 minutes. The eighth one is the simple licensing. This one you can upgrade or move your license quickly, and no registration server is required. The last one, but not the least, is the secure by design. DataHub is the only product that can keep your OT access closed. So to sum it all, DataHub is a single tool that lets you connect, concentrate, integrate, and redistribute the live data among sources and users in real time. So if there is no further question from our audience, that concludes our presentation. But then, I know some of you are asking, what's in it for me on joining this webinar? We at Servodynamics have a special announcement to all of the participants in this webinar. So as an appreciation for those who attended on this webinar, we're offering a special discount for a limited time offer only on our Skynet and Aviva products. So for more information, you can contact us directly on the contact information provided on the screen. One is for Singapore customers, and the other one, that's me, on the Philippines. You can write me an email or contact me on the details provided. So I think that's it. We hope we shared with you some useful information that will help you in your plan and project. We'll be glad to have a discussion with all of you soon and provide you with solutions on your requirements. So lastly, if you have any concerns or you want to know more about us, you can visit our website, www.servo.com.ph for Philippine customers and www.servo.com.sg for Singapore customers. Again, thank you everyone and keep safe.